Welcome everyone to World of Hogwarts, a place that I've been meaning to get to for quite some time. It's actually one of the oldest landmarks I have in my little folder for the series that I do, alongside one of the places that we went to shortly beforehand, which was Danvers. In any case, I'm finally getting around to coming to this place, and it's been around for quite some time. It's been around for years. And I guess we've landed somewhere in a shopping district, and it looks like the actual castle school and the Quidditch stadium's over that way. It's been a long time since I've read the Harry Potter stuff. It's probably been a good 5 years, I'd say, since I've last looked at the books, and that was mostly because I was keeping up with them when they came out, and I want to say the last book came out, I think like 2009 or 2010, something along those lines. And, yeah, it's definitely been a while, but for the most part, I should be able to remember quite a bit of this stuff. Like, for example, the Hogwarts school has, it basically has four different, can't think of the right term for it, like four different teams to the school. There's Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Gryffindor, and you get sorted via the sorting hat, which is basically like a hat that they put on you when you get here. And it basically says whatever school team or like school team's not the right way to put it, but I don't know offhand better way to put it. But basically you'd end up in one of those four teams, and and I remember back when all this Harry Potter hype was coming out, I remember I did a video on one place a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it wasn't here, but it's probably one of the places that weren't existent anymore. When I first got here in 2008, the Harry Potter stuff was definitely still going on. And it was pretty popular at the time. And I remember taking like a quiz thing around that time. It said I'd be in Ravenclaw, so whenever I've had a chance to come to one of these Sims and check out the Hogwarts stuff, I always like to try and grab something Ravenclaw oriented while I'm here. But in any case, that was pretty much the shopping district, as you can see here. This is pretty much, I guess maybe I don't know if this is like an OOC area or whatever, but the rest of this would be like an IC in-character roleplay sim where you would roleplay as being a student here at Hogwarts. So if you'd like to come here and check out the place, or perhaps look up what it has for roleplaying, then keep that in mind that this is a region that roleplay is to be expected. And here we see some of the grounds. And I think we'll just follow this path. I think this path is leading us up towards the Quidditch stadium, which Quidditch is the wizard sport where it's sort of like, I guess probably it's something alongside the idea of perhaps like flying soccer almost. From what I remember it. You have, like, basically these goalies that would be in front of these rings, and you'd have these people throwing this ball back and forth while you have specifically one teammate that's going after a special ball that's out called a snitch, I believe, if I remember correctly. So you basically have this regular ball in play that also is like sort of like a back and forth, like that orange ball right there is what I'm talking about. And people will be passing it along, and they try and throw it into one of these hoops, if I remember correctly, and there'd be a goalie in front trying to block them. While all this is going on, both teams would have one person by the name of, I think, a seeker, and they would particularly be looking for another ball which is a very small little yellow ball with wings, and it'd be flying around the stadium. And when one of them catches it, it gains like a huge amount of points that are basically going to make whoever gets it wins, except for maybe in like very rare times not, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember if there was a time when one team got the snitch, but still the other team won. I can't remember if there was one or not. And the main character of the Harry Potter series, obviously Harry Potter, was the Seeker on the Quidditch team. He was on Gryffindor, one of the four, and he was the Seeker. I think they said he was the youngest Seeker they ever had, or perhaps like one of the youngest. So yeah, I'm sort of just rambling on about Harry Potter stuff, but since it is kind of going with the theme here, and what I was just talking about, it's fun, I guess. I think over here is what's supposed to be interpreted as perhaps the Forbidden Forest, and the Forbidden Forest was a area of the grounds that students weren't allowed to go to without either a teacher or the caretaker of the grounds with them. And the reason for that is the Forbidden Forest has like a bunch of magical creatures in it that are gonna just mess your stuff right up. Got like giant spiders, centaurs, which they're not technically very dangerous, but they're very territorial. I'm trying to remember what else was out there. I'm sure there was other things, but I can't quite remember. There was unicorns, though unicorns weren't really dangerous. Flu networks, I just saw that one that was sitting there. I believe those are... Okay, I know port keys are like the teleporting things, but I think the flu networks were also a teleport, or at least something we can get a message across. And I think the flu networks always had something to do with fire, which would make sense, because flu network right there is like a burning fire. Ooh, this has tunnels underneath it? This just got a lot more interesting. Let's see what's... Oh, wait, never mind. I couldn't tell because of the advanced sliding, or perhaps they're doing abstract shading here. I got some fog effects down here, too. Oh wait, there's a tunnel that goes down here. Okay. Don't actually see anything in here, though. Though I guess if I had to take a chance, I'd say probably they have spaces open like this just for... in case you wanted to roleplay as something that might be... lives in a cave or something, you could probably res things out here. Let's see, what other Harry Potter things can I talk about? I'll leave the castle alone for right now, because we're going to get to the castle soon. There was also like a shack, which might be back where we looked at before, and that was next to the Whomping Willow, which was like a giant tree that would pretty much attack anybody that came near. You would literally just use its branches to beat you up if you got near it. Actually, I don't think the shack itself was on the grounds, but there was like a way to it underneath the Whomping Willow. I think the shack itself was actually in Hogsmeade, which I think there's actually another sim. From what I was reading on near the shopping area, that there's another sim that's supposed to be Hogsmeade, which we may take a look at someday. And Hogsmeade is like basically this place where once you were in, I think, the third year, you could go to Hogsmeade, and Hogsmeade was basically like a shopping district for magical goods and things of that nature. But you had, if I remember correctly from the books, you had to have like your parents' permission or something, and Harry didn't have his. I think it was his uncle and aunt. I don't think they gave him permission or anything like that, so he ended up not going there for the first year he could, or something on those lines. And I always have to say I love when regions have the outer region stuff, like the mountains or whatever. That's like one of the best things somebody came up with, was this outer region, mountainous region sort of stuff. I don't know how they do it. It's probably some sort of magic vertical that makes this outer some stuff appear. But it really does add flavor to whatever region it's on, because otherwise it's just endless ocean, which is always a bit meh. So I can imagine whoever made this outer region stuff probably gets a lot of sales, because it really does add to a sim like this. Okay, we're going to go ahead and head on up to the Hogwarts castle now. Which the castle itself would be Hogwarts. It's one of a couple of magical schools that are around. I don't remember if it's the only one in Britain. It might be. There are other magical schools that came around in, I think, the fourth book. And there was like a multiple school competition with the Goblet of Fire. But I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they were part of different areas of the world, I want to say. I can't remember. Anyway, just from already looking here, this place looks like it's going to be massive, so we're going to be here a while probably. You can get a bit interpretive with how the castle layout is, because ultimately it changed quite a bit. Like, for example, the hallways had changing corridors and changing staircases. The chow hall or meeting area had, like, stuff floating around in the air, like candles, and I think it was mostly candles now that I think about it, actually, but overall you could do a lot of interpretation on what's actually the inside of the castle, though. So it's a really nice idea to be able to do something like this, because only a couple of rooms are sort of set in stone. Like probably the most famous rooms are probably, I don't know, probably the Gryffindor area, the Chow Hall, and that's probably about it, I think. because you always saw those two particularly in the movies, which would be the only particular visual you got. Oh, we see some Quidditch stuff going on here. Makes sense. And here we have a whole gallery of the teachers, I assume, or at least the admins of the sim. And you can actually see that they schedule things, like an actual schedule of when classes take place in real time. Oh, that actually leads to a web page. I'm not going to go to it then. Sorry. And we have some more portraits. I think this might have been what I saw. No, it's not, actually. This is a different room entirely. No, these are not the same portraits I saw earlier. Got some Renaissance portraits here, though. Couple of pictures of probably events that have gone on. Actually, it seems like I don't have to click on these doors, but in fact, just have to walk through them. That's a nice touch as well. We seem to be down further below. Can't actually go through this door. I assume this is like a dungeon area? I'm probably not far off at all. Yeah, this place is really a lot more complex than it looked like from the outside, because it looks like it's just a lot of doors. In fact, I want to say just by going on this alone, we've probably already been up like 3 floors just on this staircase. What is this? Oh, it's a hidden passage. Interesting. Though I have no idea where I am now. Yeah, like I'm saying, is that this is actually really interesting to explore, because there's just doors everywhere, and you can just go and find a hidden bookcase passage, and all of a sudden you're somewhere else entirely. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on in this room. Okay. That's taken care of. This looks like perhaps just a relaxation room, perhaps? I see some resers around as well. Yeah, they're using what I forget what exactly it's called, but some of these corridors, they're using like a certain thing that makes the corridor darker. Like you put a bunch of transparent, I think it's like a bunch of transparent black prims in front of each other, or at least semi-transparent, and it makes this sort of shaded look to it. We can see a good idea of the castle from the outside. Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and check out the reservoir rooms, which actually makes sense. If you were going to make a roleplay thing like this and have a huge structure like this castle, it actually makes sense to be able to res up different scenes in a room like this. it saves on space. So like when you have to use the library, you could come in here, or as you're about to go to the library, you can hit the button. You can probably come over and hit the button, and by the time you come over here, the library is going to be completely rezzed up because it looks like it takes a bit of time. Or if you have to use what the other thing was, you can do the exact same thing. And so you have two different rooms in the exact same room possible. Staff lounge, that's what it was. Okay. Yep, you can actually see the whole room appearing right in front of us, one piece at a time. Oh, it looks like it actually has different wallpaper too. I didn't even think about adding different, like, walling to it as well, but I guess that would be possible. And we'll just go ahead and clear this and keep it the way it was before. And we have another little room up here. So I guess this would probably go with whatever scene is going downstairs too, because it looked like this is supposed to be another lounge-like one, and the other one looked like it was supposed to be... I think it was supposed to be the forbidden section of the library part. Or restricted section, because the library, if I remember correctly, had a section to it that was like... Yeah, it was like restricted, where you had to have permission to actually get one of the books out of the place. Okay, it's actually... Yeah, let's head down here. And I think I'll say this right now, is that I don't know if I'm going to end up finding every place in this castle. As you can see, it's a oh, I think I found the Chow Hall. But like I was saying, it's a fairly complex structure, and there's doors and staircases everywhere. And here we have... Ah, that's right. Okay, they're not teams, they're houses. House is the correct term. It just hit me when I saw that, because I thought of what they called the points, and those are house points. So you had the four houses: Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. And you were sorted into one of those, and Gryffindor was like for people that were supposed to be like brave and more like, how would you say it, like maybe more they were like brave and maybe less about thinking things through. And Slytherin were supposed to be like the conniving type that were supposed to be talented, but they're sort of like the slippery type, which is why all their symbolism was like a snake and whatnot. And Ravenclaw was supposed to be like the smart people that weren't particularly about they were basically like the smart people, but they weren't particularly about, what's the word, like doing things. So, like Ravenclaw usually were like probably like, I don't know, historians and librarians and whatnot. And Hufflepuff was basically the ones that were pretty much everything else. I don't remember if Hufflepuffs had like a special particular thing to them or not. Oh, we're back up here. Or at least I assume so. Yeah, we are back up here. So I think we went down before, so let's go ahead and head upwards. And I guess this takes us up to one of the towers, so if we should head out here, we should get another view of the outside. Looks like we're pretty far up now, actually. Towards where the top of the castle is, I think. I'm not actually sure where this bridge attaches to. Obviously to a point where we hadn't been before, because I don't think we've been over there. Oh, we have an owlery up here, which the main form of mail in this world and in the book series was mail by owl. They would just carry it around and fly off to whoever it is you wanted to send it to. You could also have owls as a pet, and they would also be able to send stuff to you. Or send things off. Which, if I remember correctly, I think owls were basically the main... I think actually this might be the place we were at before when we first started. Unless they have... Yeah, this is the same room from before. So let's not backtrack too much here. We'll just continue going along ways we haven't been before, I think. Which maybe we should just jump down to that bridge. Okay. Yeah, I think owls were the pets that were most common, I think. And there was also rats, toads, and cats, I think, as well. A view of the forest down below. That's probably why I couldn't find this area before, is because it doesn't actually connect anywhere besides this one door, it looks like. This looks like it might just be a watchtower of some sort. Alright, let's continue on. Okay, we've been here. So remember the portraits, and we've been... Pretty sure we've been down here as well, I think. Haven't we? Or no, we were down in another part. This one leads outside. Yeah, sorry about the confusion, but I kind of started out somewhere And I think there was a door off this way that I haven't been to with another set of portraits. But yeah, I sort of have checked out a lot of this castle, so now I'm sort of looking around to figure out where exactly I haven't been. And this looks like it might be like a main corridor or something along those lines. Maybe this is supposed to be the grand staircase with the changing... Oh, I think it might be, in fact. Ah, okay. Now I understand. And we can see the staircase is moving. Don't have the key of this cool basic door. That's too bad. They probably don't have the key laying around, so I'm not going to try and enter that. But these doors I haven't been able to go through were apparently teleport doors, and I never knew because I was in mouse look the whole time. So we'll go ahead and just continue to check out this staircase for a moment and then check out these doors. Some of them might be teleports to where we've been already. Yeah, this is another one that has a key. So it's like those gray looking doors that have, like those ones right there that are teleports, and staircase is moving on me. Alright, we'll go ahead and start here then. And this leads us back to the other portrait room, so we're going to go ahead and just come back. And this is back towards, I think, the dungeons that we were at before. Okay. Anyways, guess I'll go ahead and talk more about some Hogwarts things. There was... I haven't actually seen any of the classrooms yet, but I think these might be the ones coming up here since I see numbers and whatnot. So this is actually a wing that we hadn't seen before, so thankfully we found it. And the doors, the rooms seem to be empty, but they might be... Okay, it looks like there might be a spawner in that other room. And the classrooms are all about different things going on, like there was divining, there was potions, there was defense against the dark arts, which there was like dark arts magic, and the school taught defenses against it, that sort of thing. And it was all taught up from different teachers. They all had like their specialties and what classes they did. There was also transfiguration, which was like turning into an animal. I think, let's see. Yes, there was one room that had, it looked like a resin here, so we'll go ahead and take a look in here. And this should give us a clear look at what the classrooms would look like here. I'm not sure why it says Tuesday, June 21st down there, since it's not that quite yet, but though maybe that's a timer for when the next class is. Actually, oh, maybe? If this isn't one of the ones that they were showing off on the schedule from before. Staircases are still moving around. We're definitely making progress on these doors, though. We're getting pretty far up again. Those ones don't seem to be working, though. I want to say I thought this was a passage behind that portrait, but I guess not. Let's see. Ah, this room, okay. I assume the bridge is going to shift in place. And this is probably just, it looks like maybe a glass view of the region down below. Oh, fell right through. And I assume this is probably... I think this would be the headmaster's office here. But it seems the door is stuck behind some form of riddle, which I don't remember if this was from the book or not, because I don't remember the answer. Though it could be it only opens up for a particular person that speaks it. Oh, looks like we have another classroom over here. Specifically, divining or divinations. I can't quite pronounce it right. Ah, what do we have here? And we have what amounts to, I think I want to say, is supposed to be the room that was in the books that changed with whoever came into it. and it would be what you desire most at the moment, or at least pertain to that. Though it could be wrong in thinking of another room. It's possible. In any case, I think this will be about it for our visit to World of Hogwarts today. It's a very nice sim. They did a very good job on the castle. And if you'd like to roleplay in a Hogwarts environment, this is definitely one of the ones you could do it in. I don't think I'm going to break through this door if there's nothing behind it, so... Because I have no idea if it's actually supposed to be openable or not to somebody in particular. Ah, it's supposed to be the Ravenclaw common house. Huh, I thought this was the Grandmaster's door. Never mind then. Forget everything I said earlier. In any case, I will see you guys in the next video. And hopefully we'll find something interesting like we did here.